The Sun conjunct Mars is an extraordinarily potent energy, and it is impacting us for this week. The Sun conjunct Mars is an energy that is confident in action. Confidence, so confident you keep taking action. It's almost like the exact opposite of missing the forest for the trees. You're missing the trees for the forest. You're seeing so far ahead, and it's so easy for you to just be focused and not question your purpose. And that is fantastic energy, except that so often, because they're both fire energies, the Sun and Mars are both fire energy, and fire is always associated with the future. So the problem with that is, or the potential for having a problem, is that you can be so focused on what you're after out there, or the distance or the future, that you're missing the steps in between, and you can easily injure yourself or trip yourself up. Not only professionally or socially, but also literally. That's right. Anytime there's Sun conjunct Mars, there is a higher probability of injury, simply because you don't think at all. You just take action, which is absolutely extraordinary. But there's always a dark and a light side to every conjunction. They're neither good nor bad. They're just energy that's been multiplied. So the challenge this week, while Mars and the Sun are almost in perfect conjunction, is going to be, how do I slow myself down enough to not miss the steps in between, but to keep using this energy to propel me forward? There's lots of things that you can do. Grounding yourself. Meditation is a form of grounding. It uses your breath to ground you. All of those kind of things can help not just slow you down, but also make your actions have more intent and bring more consciousness to them. That's very important, because that can make this Sun conjunction to Mars very, very productive. Now, further complicating the situation is that the Sun conjunction to Mars is in opposition to Uranus. That's right. All week long, it's in opposition to Uranus. And any opposition to Uranus, any planet that is in opposition to Uranus, is going to get major surprises, because Uranus really likes to fuck with people. It does not like to be predicted. And as soon as as you get too complacent, and as soon as you get entitled, Uranus is going to come and kick you in your ass. It is going to come and pull the carpet out from underneath you to teach you your lessons. And oppositions are challenging energies to begin with, so Uranus is definitely going to be there to challenge the Sun conjunction to Mars, which means that, yes, if this were just a normal Sun conjunction to Mars, it would still have that element of, am I moving too fast? Have I not thought this through enough? But in opposition to Uranus, Uranus is going to throw in complications. It's going to do it intentionally to teach us to not get expectant and to not rely on what is supposed to be or what should happen or anything that has traditionally occurred. Expect the unexpected, but don't expect it. All you can do in this energy is live in the moment, live in the day, live in the here and now while you move toward the future. So your mindset and your mentality really needs to sort of zoom out and have a level of perspective on everything that you do, including a realization that anything can still happen. And with Uranus involved, it can and it will. Another big player is Neptune. Neptune is pretty much trine to Mars, the Sun conjunct Mars all week long. When Neptune is trine to the Sun, this is extraordinarily creative energy. And when Mars is trine to Neptune, it is extraordinarily rhythmic energy. There's a level of being physically creative. So dancing or just putting yourself to motion. There's an eloquence to your motion. There's an artistry to your motion that can take over. So I equate that mostly to dancing. So Neptune being thrown in the mix also brings us sort of to a realm of the uber possible, what we've never done before. We can find ourselves a lot this week exceeding expectations or doing things that we had never expected we would ever be interested in or ever want to do. Anytime the sun is in opposition to Uranus in any capacity, you're definitely going to want to get out of your normal. Your normal is going to bore the crap out of you. And if your life has become humdrum in any way, too standardized, too predictable, you're going to get really uncomfortable really fast. And that's going to be what's irritating the crap out of you. Throw Mars into that mix, you're not going to have a choice but to want to take action and rebel against your norm. And that's good. What's not good is moving so fast you get yourself hurt. You're really going to have to sort of the biggest challenge this week is to slow yourself down just enough to stay in control of the wheel. Another little caveat this week is that Venus is semi-square to the Sun conjunction to Mars. What does that mean? Semi-squares are almost like, think of a pebble in your shoe or like somebody grinding their fingernail into your hand. It's not the most horrible pain you've ever felt. It's more of an irritation. And so what does Venus rule? Venus rules what we desire. Venus rules what we wish for. Venus rules the things that really get our juices going. And if those are starting to agitate in us and irritate us, we could have agitation and irritation in two ways. We can have agitation and irritation because we're just not getting enough of the things that we desire, or because the things that we used to desire, we don't desire anymore. That, I predict, is going to be what the catalyst of a lot of these things are. Venus ruled energies, and she rules finance too. So the things that we put value on could really be sticking the screw into our bottoms this week and really be catalyzing the need for change and the need for truth. Uranus deals in truth. These are all really beautiful energies of insistence upon the new and the breaking of tradition, especially traditions that are oppressing us or repressing ourselves, the things that don't work. These things that work are not going to get destroyed here, but the things that aren't working for us are really going to come up and bite us in the ass this week, because it's going to make us want to do things a different way and start things new, or maybe even get to know new aspects of ourselves that we haven't accessed before. We have a new moon this week as well, so that's also begging for us to start fresh, to feel complete in who we are. It's going to help us with self-acceptance, because when the moon conjuncts the sun, it's this sense of wholeness and completeness. Now, this is happening in Scorpio, so this is kind of wholeness and completeness when it comes to the darker aspects of ourselves, the things that we were once upon ashamed of. This is a really good opportunity for us to not feel that shame, to relinquish it, to heal it, and to actually rise up because of it. Remember, scorpionic energy is resurrective energy. So there's permanent ends and beautiful new metamorphic beginnings. These are the kind of changes that you don't want to come back from. And we have so many planets pushing us to expand and broaden our potentials or see potentials that we never tapped into. You're going to really end up surprising yourself with what you're interested in, what you do, and what you're interested in doing this week. So enjoy yourself. It is going to be a wild ride.